Vlad and I were sitting here.
We are.
John, too, we're all going, Kate Hudson, guess what? You can really sing. And then I said to Kate backstage, I said, aren't you tired of people saying that? But I have to admit, I saw you last year at an event. You said, oh, I'm coming out with an album. An album? Do you sing? She goes, yeah, I've always sang. Really? And then when it came, I thought, okay, she dates rock stars.
Yeah.
We know that she's...
married.
Yeah. Well, had dated rock stars, married rock stars, and has rock and roll in her history. But we thought, oh, how good is she? And then this album comes out, Kate. Go you.
And we come in and we're like, have you listened to Kate? I mean, it's mind-blowing.
And then the question is, why didn't you do this before?
I get that. That's like the question of all questions. I think.
Remember when you sick of that question, like, okay, you can sing. Are you tired of people saying that to you?
No, I'm not, because
Really?
it's kind of fun. Yeah, it's like I just let this like secret out a little bit. People who know me know that I've been a singer and have written music my entire life, but. People who don't, it's like a discovery, and it's kind of fun. You know, at this age...
Can you see it on people's faces at your shows?
Yes.
What happens?
Gosh, at the shows. Well, I can see people just sort of like looking at each other, sometimes going like, oh my God, people who, like, especially at the Webster Hall the other day, I'm sure there was a couple people that didn't know what to expect. And it was truly like an amazing experience, because it was like mixed with it was great energy, and also the first time people had really sat with the album and knew all the songs.
Words,
and
yes.
They were being sung back to me, and I just was like, wow, it was like I felt like I was on a different planet. It was really amazing.
Is there a way to think about this as a part of seasons of life? In other words, what I love is you had this jewel that you just polished your whole life. That the question isn't, why didn't you do it earlier, but now is the time.
Yeah, I really honestly do feel, I've had to allow myself to feel okay with that version of it, instead of going, why didn't I do this earlier? Because it really has been a great passion of mine. But I also think, like, when I started the process, I was like, this isn't about anything but me having to just do it. And there's something about that, like the pure creative spirit, that has no expectation, that I think comes something much more authentic than if you're trying to achieve an outcome,
Did you ever express an interest in doing it and were discouraged?
Yeah, I had both, from people wanting me to do it and me just not wanting to do it at the time, and then me kind of starting to do it, and a lot of people being like, why? You know what I mean? Why do you want to do this? It's hard, and it's a whole thing, and like, you're putting yourself out there, and you're not young anymore. You're not a spring chicken. But I as a writer, I think it's different, because I love performing, but I really love writing music. And I think there's such an important place for youth in music for writing. It's so vital. We need it. I think the young generation is what can really shift culture in music. But there is something to say about age in writing and wisdom and that reflection, like being more reflective. And it's kind of why you see a lot of the great songs written by the young and a little bit older. When you see who's writing the music, the age, actually, there's a spectrum of age. And so for me, it just really was like, I have to just share it. And I'm so happy I did.
I'm really glad
so happy.
We are very happy that you did. Let's talk about some of the music. You named the album Glorious. There's a track on the album Glorious, which you wrote with Linda Perry, who is no stranger to hits herself, having written for Christina Aguilera, Gwen Stefani. What was that like? She's like a legend in the music business, as you know.
Linda's great. She's a fellow Aries, so it's a lot of fire in a room.
Nice.
Hence also the track Fire, which is, my Aries track. But like, Linda is a powerful, incredible songwriter. And what was amazing about writing with her is she just kind of moved it along, right? It was like having someone really kind of push the process and not allow me to overthink what I was doing. It was sort of became more of like a channeling experience than really breaking the songwriting down. And that was really great. And Glorious, we wrote in like 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
It was just
Oh,
crazy.
yes, I love that song. I keep going back and forth between a few songs on the album, but I always love Glorious.
Glorious is great.
And working with your longtime partner, Danny, who's also in the music business,
great
songwriter
writer.
and musician. You must like musicians, Kate.
I feel like it's my love language. You know what I mean? Like, I think
see that.
And I think people who love music, when you are with someone who also speaks that language, it enriches a part of the relationship for me.
What was it like working with him? Because sometimes that's very dicey for couples to work together on something that means so much to them both.
After we saw Stereophonic.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's right.
Right? After watching
Word
Stereophonic.
choices can be so personal.
It's
right,
true.
John,
You know,
yes.
Love Ain't Easy, we wrote together, and it was a really hard song for us to write because it kind of embodied a thing for us that we couldn't get past something writing that song, and which hence Love Ain't Easy lyric that came to me. But Danny, when we started, it was like he was facilitating what I needed versus it being about his musicianship, and I think that makes it a little bit easier to work with than if we were like actually working together like as artists. You know, for him as a writer and a producer, he wanted it to be what I wanted.
Well, I will say this: I can't wait for album number 2. You must come back with album number 2, and you're not giving up acting either.
No. Actually, I just had the time of my life on this Netflix show that comes out, I think at the end of the year and the beginning of the year. And yeah, this is not. There's no shift.
I can't
Just
wait.
an addition, I guess.
Cheering you on, Kate Hudson. So
I love
happy
you,
for
Gayle.
your
Thank
success.
you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Back at ya. Glorious is on sale wherever you like to buy your music.